Hey guys, welcome back. Have you ever heard the phrase, life is a marathon, not a sprint? Again, have you ever heard the phrase, life's a marathon, not a sprint? I've been thinking about this quite a bit, and I was thinking about the problems we're seeing with attention spans with young adults and children for that matter. Well, life's a marathon, not a sprint, right? How do marathon runners train to complete a marathon? It's interesting. You know, do they run 100-meter or 200-meter dashes? Do they ever do that? I doubt it, right? They probably train their brains and their bodies at the same time. Like, how do you cope with at mile 10? How do you deal with that? You know, you probably train running 3 miles, 5 miles, then 10 miles, then 20 miles before you can run that full marathon. It's going to be a lot of training, right? It's going to be a lot of work, both physically and mentally. And I'll tell you what, I bet you marathon runners train more mentally than physically. Obviously, there's a lot of physical aspects to it, but there's a lot of mental up here, right? What are you going to do at mile 20 or at mile 5, right? How are you going to handle that? Are you going to build up more momentum at mile 20? Is it going to help you finish at mile 26 or whatever it is? I can't remember what a marathon is. 26.2, I think. But so life's a marathon. How are you going to train for that marathon? I'll give you another example. Let's take the AI revolution. I've talked about that. You know, if you were building an LLM, how would you build an LLM? Would you take all the books in the world and maybe rip out one page from each book to train that LLM? Would you do that? Would that make it faster to train it? Sure, probably, right? But would you have the context to be able to complete that LLM and have an accurate reading and AI results if you were to take one page out of each book? Probably not, right? Why am I talking about this? Why am I talking about marathons versus sprints? Okay, these two examples I gave you, it's interesting. So if we look at the world today, what are people doing? People are training for the marathon by sprinting. And how are they doing that? Well, they're watching TikTok all day. They're swiping. They're training their brain for sprints all day. They think they can capture all this information by 20-second videos, and they think they can accomplish the marathon by doing so. They think they can train their brain by watching a 20-second clip and watching hundreds of them, right? Now, when you do that, you're changing data context. Every time you swipe, oh, new data context, right? That's not gonna help you. It really isn't. It's not gonna provide you enough context or value to increase your attention span. Again, when you swipe and swipe and swipe and get those dopamine hits, you're just reducing your attention span. You're not training your brain, is what's happening. I don't recommend the short form content. It's just hurting your training, you know? You think that a marathon runner is going and trying to run 200-meter sprints every time and trying to get what that's gonna feel like for a marathon? No, that's just not gonna happen. So, you know, these attention spans are really important. And why is that? To provide value in the future, in this future that we're going to be living in the next 20 to 30 years, you're going to need a long attention span. Why is that? Because projects are getting more and more difficult to add value. People have already accomplished things. They've already built many of the mousetraps in this world that's ever going to be built. So the things that have to be built to improve the future are going to be that much more complex and that much more difficult. And that's going to take a long time. And there's going to be no satisfaction in these type of projects that you work on. Take a nuclear power plant, for example. That's one of the longest projects you'll ever have. If you're on one of those projects, you're going to get about no satisfaction for like 10 to 20 years, right? And so the kids of the future who are watching TikTok all day, you think they're going to be able to work on that nuclear power plant? I don't think so. I honestly don't. Like, it's just they're going to burn out in about 5 months. They're done, right? And we're training our children to consume swipe this content all day. What is that doing? It's just shortening their attention span. Children's attention spans are already too short. I've got 2 of them. I know all about it. It's not rocket science. You know, it's hard for them to focus on something for more than 10 minutes. And then when they turn 13, you're going to give them a phone and have them go on TikTok and YouTube Shorts and Facebook Reels, whatever. I don't even know much about all these short form content, but I do get it. I get the context. You know, it's just swipe, 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 dopamine, dopamine, dopamine. You're not going to be able to do projects when you get older doing that. All right. You're going to hate your job because your attention span is so short. All right. Start training your brain for a marathon. Read books. Learn how to read books. I heard a recent story. Another long form YouTuber I just found like 2 days ago. He said that kids going to Columbia University, they can't even finish a book. I think on average in Columbia, it takes they have to read a book a week, right? Now that's a lot. I probably couldn't even do that myself. I'm not a huge reader. However, if you want to be successful, you need to be able to consume long form content in the form of books, YouTube videos, trainings, whatever. You know, you're not going to be able to swipe your entire life. Okay? There's a time for that. Maybe it's like few and far between. You want to be entertained maybe when you're sitting on the plane or something. Even then, to be honest, that stuff is garbage. I don't recommend it. I've done it a few times in my life. Can't stand it. After you're done with it, you just feel like crap, honestly. So, like I said, life's a marathon. It ain't a sprint. Start training your brain for that marathon. It's a long marathon. It's a fun marathon too if you just get into it. You know, start consuming long form content. Start reading some books. You know, it's gonna open up your brain to new possibilities. And not only that, let me say this. The short form content, it's all about trends. It's not adding value. It's not adding you wisdom. It's not providing wisdom. It's just 20 seconds of some problem going on in the world. Oh, inflation, inflation, inflation. I'm broke, I'm broke, I'm broke. It's just some trending BS. It's not giving you insight into how to build wealth and how to add value to somebody else in society. All right? It's just people complaining online. Why, whine, whine, whine. You know, woe is my life, right? That's what people like to hear. They like to hear problems. Is that going to build you wealth? No. Listening to other people's problems, forget that. Move on. All right? I'm complaining right now, right? You should probably move on from this video, right? But just letting you know, I'm not giving my kids a phone until they're like maybe 18 or something. I don't want them swiping up and up and up. I don't want that for them. I want them to have longer attention spans. All right? That's how they're going to be successful. They're going to outdo all the other 90% of people out there that are just swiping all day. That's all they're doing. I heard a story on the radio. I was listening to the radio the other morning, and they were complaining that TikTok was going to get banned, right? And some lady calls in, and she goes, "Oh, yeah, I'm so disappointed. I can't fall asleep because I have to be on my TikTok at night." I'm like, "Are you serious? You got to be kidding me. You can't fall asleep because you need your TikTok? What are you doing all day? You know, are you working hard trying to build wealth? Are you working hard trying to take care of your family? Probably not. That's why you need TikTok to go to sleep, right?" I don't get it. I honestly, this is a big rant probably, more so than anything. But kids out there, if you watch this, if you catch this channel, delete those apps, honestly. And if you're on the apps that have both short form and long form, just never click on the short form. Always stick to long form content if you're on these apps. This is the way of the world. Video's not going anywhere, right? So you got to be able to filter and search. You're not going to get there quick. You're not going to get rich quick. It's a marathon, okay? So take that advice if you want. You know, if not, hey, it's up to you. You can keep swiping. Good luck out there, right? You're going to be part of the 90%. The 10%, they're not swiping. They're not. They're reading, and they're listening to long form content. So pick your poison, okay? Anyways, you guys have a great day. Thanks for coming. And tell me what you think. Is that really what your thoughts are on this short form content versus long. Let me know in the comments below. You know, let me know if I'm wrong. I could be, right? So anyways, everyone, thanks for coming, and take a look at my previous video and have a great day. Thanks, bye.